Hey people, so it's your girl Carmen. Let me just get my beverage because it's been that kind of day. And when I say that kind of day, I mean a day to celebrate. We've just kicked off a first creative project of the year, which stems from the past few years. We've been doing a lot of collaborations on and off. And as and when budgets allow, different organizations to collaborate with us. So as 24 Studio, as a design studio, we also operate in two parts where there's Lab24. So these two brands, these two organizations are delivered by Lee, Benjamin, and me, myself, Carmen. So what we do is, as designers, as creatives, we work with lots of different organizations and companies and individuals, personal brands, developing their brand identities on a corporate level, on a social level, on a one-to-one personal, independent business owner level. So many different organizations that we've worked with. You can reach out to us to see our portfolio. We will share that with you if you're interested. Just send us a message, links in our bio. But it's really nice to be in a playful space. So we created Lab24 so that we could have a space to encourage the next generation. And when I use that word very, 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 with so much grace, because our children today, our young people today, they need encouragement. And for me, as a creative entrepreneur, I am confident in my space of my creative freedom. See, I left my full-time 9-to-5 job to dive into exploring what it means to be a creative. So it's testing out different mediums, kind of like what it was like going back to college, when you were in college days, or sixth form, whenever you ever did art, right? Think about how you felt in that space, how free you felt in that space. Because when I think of my times of when I felt the most free, it was when I was in my art studio in my secondary school, St. Saviour's and St. Olave's, shout out all the SSSO girls. And my art teacher, Mr. Cole, would literally say to me, Carmen, here's the keys for the lab and go and do you. And my design technology teacher would say to me, you can go up into the tech department and just do what you need to do. They understood me as a student, as a young person. My teachers understood that in a world of all these aligned professions that we're going to set ourselves up for, the one thing I ever wanted to be involved with was how creative I was. So I maintained my level of creativity at a very young age. Fast forward to university, creative degree, and then you've got recessions, and then you kind of got to get serious about life. You need to have a job, you need to hold it down, you've got responsibilities, right? And these are all very important things. But equally, we owe it to ourselves. There's a responsibility to self, to ensure we constantly stay connected to the creativity within, because it exists. Some people say, oh, I'm not very creative. Or you are. There's a craft to almost everything that we do. Like in your household, if you prepare meals for your family and they go down a tree and everyone's nourished and appreciative, and there's a craft to that. If you are excelling in the finance world and you're good with numbers, there's an art to that as well. So for me, it's about going back to what they describe as creative in terms of the colors and textures and form and shape, and using that from a branding perspective and visual identity in the real world, but bringing it back to the place I felt the most free, and that was always as a child. So for me, I owe it to myself, and I always create daily. That's just me, who I am. But Lab24 is a space where we can set up any circle of people, adults to children, from old people to, toddlers, whatever age group you have as a community leader, and you want to really harness that creativity and that collaboration, because creativity, when done together, is the most beautifulest form of collaborative arts. And it's my sweet spot. And doing that on a social level is what gives me the most joy. So being able to kick off the year with a creative project and focus on packing my paints and my acrylic pens and all our supplies to just rock up at Mercato Metropolitano. Thank you to the team down there, to Serena, to Jasmine, for always believing in Lee and I and our ability to deliver projects and, you know, curate workshops with a social purpose. So I just want to say cheers to everybody and a happy new year. 2024, it has to be better, right?